Jobless claims unexpectedly fell last week, and that may be signaling some improvement in the labor market. Carl Camden, the CEO of Kelly Services, expects U.S. employers to continue hiring more temporary workers as they wait for demand to pick up. He joins us now to tell us why. Mr. Camden, welcome to Bloomberg News. Good to have you on.
Thank you, Mark.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts of this, is the labor market moving in the right direction?
Yes, just not quickly enough.
Define quickly.
The economy needs to produce a couple 100,000 jobs a month in order to be able to start significantly reducing the unemployment rate. We're not close to that, but the velocity is picking up. Slowly, the amount of jobs being added month by month are increasing.
The American Staffing Association says that as of the end of last quarter, there were 2.36 million temporary workers in the United States. What did that number look like pre-recession?
Pre-recession, the number would have been in the mid 3.4, 3.5 million. So significant.
Talk to me about the pace of temp hiring. What are we seeing right now? As you mentioned, that unemployment still up near 10%. What's the pace look like?
Pace is increasing, and some of the business lines that typically recover first in a recession, like light industrial, staffing there is up 30-40% year over year. In fact, for most companies, that's back to that peak level, that 2007 level. For professional and technical, which is the next thing that you would expect to see, companies are beginning to report low double-digit year-over-year growth rates there.
What can those metrics tell us about full-time private payroll hiring?
Great. What they tell you is that, first off, that companies are still experiencing some increase in demand. We're a coincident indicator, so when we're moving up, there is still some GDP growth. Also tells you that they're still uncertain about the future forward direction, so they're reacting pretty cautiously to that increase in demand. But typically, some lag period. Historically, that's been 2 to 3 quarters after you see a sharp increase in temporary employment. You would begin to see a steadier acceleration in the rate of permanent hiring.
Where are you at Kelly seeing opportunities for workers? What's the composition of the hiring look like?
So there's been a big burst of hiring, as I said before, what we call light industrial workers. That means, first off, individuals working in warehouse and distribution, light electric assembly.
Any shortages in critical areas like IT, for instance?
There's never enough engineers, and there's never enough medical personnel. IT is beginning to pick back up. There are spot shortages emerging. Companies delayed significant IT projects for the last 2 years during the recession. They can't wait much longer. They have to start implementing upgrades to their systems.
Are you seeing a mismatch, perhaps, in skill sets between people who are applying for jobs and those jobs themselves?
You know, there's always been a mismatch. We're not producing enough engineers.
Is it more exacerbated now in this climate?
It's beginning to reach back to the level that it was in 2007. So what you have, so first off, you have a large number of non-college educated workers looking for jobs. The unemployment rate for people, with a high school degree or less is in the double digits. The unemployment rate for those with a college degree is barely over 5%. You have a large number of people who want jobs and need a college degree. They don't have it. That's a big mismatch.
And that segues into my next question. Our Lizzie O'Leary was telling us just a while ago the poverty rate in this country. Highest level in 15 years in 2009. How does that impact the types of people you are seeing coming to your offices looking for temporary work?
With the recession this deep, you see a greater level of desperation, people who need a job quickly. They're not drifting into the office to be a temporary employee because they need some money to help pay for Christmas gifts. They're coming there because they need a job.
Sir, in our last 30 seconds, yesterday you gave a presentation, 8th Annual Best Ideas Conference here in New York. What did you have to tell folks, and what were some of the questions they asked you?
They wanted to know when was permanent hiring going to increase, just like you wanted to know. But they wanted to know, did we feel that this was a normal recovery? The answer is yes. It's just we're starting from the bottom of such a deep hole. It's not going to feel better for quite a while.
All right, Carl Camden, President and CEO, Kelly Services, joining us here on set. Mr. Camden, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.